Good morning. Please join me in standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And here's Brennan with the announcements.
Good morning, everyone. Today is Thursday, November 21st. It's a variety day and it's a white day. Student government will meet today in floor basement right after school. Please contact Mr. Ryan with any questions. Calling all budding artists. New England College will be on campus tomorrow in the Morse Arts Center beginning at 9:30 a.m. to give an information session and conduct a workshop and portfolio review with interested students. Please get in touch with Mr. Chatterley with any questions or if you would like to attend. See you there. There will be a brief informational meeting for anyone interested in playing boys hockey today right after school in the field house. Just 33 hours till the SJA futsal tournament. It's tomorrow from 5 to 8 p.m. in the field house. Sign your team up today using the QR code on the posters around campus. Spectators welcome. Bring extra money. There will be snacks, drinks, and baked treats there for sale. Eat, literally. Sleep, not if you want to win your match. Futsal. See you there in 33 hours. Happy birthday today to Aaron Kwam, Evan LaRock, Ada McLean, Michelle Roy, Derek Stratton, and Olivia Webster. Happy birthday. Thank you and have a great day.
Thank you, Brennan. Congratulations to the following winners of Chef B's Random Act of Kindness. For seniors, the Forrest Holcomb Advisory. For juniors, the Rowe Advisory. And for sophomores, the Cushman Advisory. Yay! Winning advisors can pick up their boxes in the street or kitchen after 7 a.m. tomorrow morning. So happy Thursday, everybody. I'm delighted to be joined today by the wonderful Banaka Hansen, who has some final wrapping up to share around our Walk for a Healthy Community. Ms. Hansen.
Good morning. Thanks for your patience. I know that several groups have eagerly anticipated the final numbers, and it's actually been a good thing that it's taken as long as it has because it means that we've been working hard since we kicked that Walk for a Healthy Community off. And so as we think about gratitude during the month of November, I'm super excited to share our final results with you. Thank you for your patience. I'm grateful that for the last 2 years, Mrs. Kendall's Human Services classes have provided our community a wonderful education about food donation. They've talked to us about what's most needed and what's nutritionally helpful. They took the time to help us understand what kinds of donations would have the most significant impact. And so can by can and box by box, the groups that opted for food donations instead of cash donations began to fill in the space around our mini Colby Tower. By the time Mr. Roberts' afternoon electrical classes delivered the total quantity of food to NECA, they took 1,004.2 pounds of food. We hand weighed that box by box and bag by bag on the stage with a scale from my house, so even doing that was a little bit of a labor of love. Casey Winterson, who's NECA's Director of Economic and Community-Based Services, wrote me after those donations went in and said, I wanted to send a heartfelt thank you to the entire St. Johnsbury Academy community for the generous food donation made to NECA from your Walk for a Healthy Community. We all at NECA are so thankful to have SJA as a partner in the huge effort to end food scarcity in the Northeast Kingdom. Again, a thank you to Mr. Roberts' class who made sure all the donations were weighed and delivered with care. My understanding was that those were really needed at the time when they showed up. Alongside our food donations, we had other advisory groups who decided to focus on donating money, which is also incredibly helpful for NECA. Like last year, the cash donations we raised came from a few different places. First, from a variety day. Some groups just did traditional cash donations, and others had some creative ways to raise funds. So just like I did last year, I'll tell you about some of those creative fundraising ideas. Mr. Brown and his advisees raffled off the chance to have their advisory bake and decorate a cake. The theme of the cake was chosen by the raffle winner, and so they did a really great job working with some difficult themes. You'll see in the newsletter we've got pictures of those cakes. There's some talent among us with cake decorators. Chef B and members of her advisory used their talent and time to make delicious treats and sold them at a home football game. And Chef Hale and his dedicated group of ninth graders hiked Mount Hunger, and in support of their hike, they raised $2,110 by themselves in pledges for NECA. So when I thought we had handed in the very last dollars, we were at $4,854.46. I shared that number with a couple of faculty members, and between us, we each donated a few more dollars. That got us to $5,000, and I was thrilled. Just last night, I was sitting at my desk, and I said to Ms. Hegarty that we'd hit that magical number of $5,000. That was a goal that I didn't even know that we had, but once we were close, we got there. And she said, oh, wait, we do have one more envelope. And so she came into my office with one more envelope just last night, and there was an additional $120 in it, bringing our final cash total to an incredible $5,120. I think that number is pretty incredible, and I know that it's going to do so much good in our community. Mrs. Kendall's Human Services class wanted to offer prizes for the top advisories, and so those who donated the most in cash or cans by grade with the ninth graders, it was Chef Hale's advisory, 10th graders, Chef B's advisory, 11th graders, Miss Moran's advisory, and the 12th graders, Jeremy Roberts' advisory. So a round of applause for those groups, please. When Donnelly Johnson talked to us before the walk, he asked us to think about something that Mr. Jones had said, and that was about the importance of a community. Donnelly used Mr. Jones's words in saying, we all have things that we need and we all have things to offer, and being in community requires us to embrace both. The give and the take, the living, breathing nature of community is special, and it's especially special when we can show up just as you all have. The work of caring for one another, whether that's here at the Academy or in the larger St. Johnsbury community, is work. It's incredibly worthwhile work, though. When I wrote to NECA again, I wrote to Casey Winterson. He doesn't know about the extra $120. He thinks we're at an even $5,000. He wrote again, and there were so many exclamation points in his email, and he said, the delivery of the 1,000+ pounds of food came at such a needed time, and it went directly, immediately back into the local community, helping support so many families throughout St. Johnsbury and the surrounding community. The additional $5,000 that was raised by St. Johnsbury Academy has left me speechless. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I cannot express how much we appreciate the support and collaboration from the Academy. Our partnership across many areas, including food security, is a testament to how communities can grow, prosper, and thrive together. So as I wrap up today, I want to stress that the humble work of collecting cans and coins that amounted to over 1,000 pounds of food and over $5,000, it didn't just happen because of a few people. That happened because so many of you rolled up your sleeves and got to work, and that is in fact what a healthy community does. My greatest hope is that momentum that we found in the cans and the coins keeps going. I hope that we are all regularly thinking about those things we as individuals both need and have to offer, and that we also continue to think outside of ourselves to think about what others need and have to offer too. Our theme this year is Face the World and Make It Better, and I'm so incredibly optimistic how we will do that after just wrapping up the Walk for a Healthy Community, which is only one event. From the bottom of my heart, thanks so much for facing our community and making it that much better. Have a great day.
And in turn, I would like to thank Ms. Hanson. Your slip there that said, our theme this world. Ms. Hanson's theme for her world is indeed face the world and make it better. And she is someone who sees the good in everyone, sees what they have to give and what they have to offer, and she has a tremendous amount to offer our community. She is an inspiration to me and to so many of us. Thank you, Ms. Hanson. So a quick gloss on my talk from Tuesday on swearing. So I've heard that there were some follow-up questions about what I really think is okay. Swearing or not swearing? If swearing is so good for us, some of you asked, and makes us live longer and withstand pain and even perform better on hard tasks, then why don't you want us to do it? So to you, I say, context is vital. There is no reason, if you're going about your day having polite and learning-centered conversations with us, that you would start swearing, is all I'm saying. So if you experience some mild annoyance while walking through Colby Hall, or you realize that you're not in dress code while headed to class in Streeter, absolutely no call for an F-bomb. That is a darn moment. That is an oh shoot moment. It may even be a moment for my mother's favorite faux swear, which was crummy buttons. But the context for real cussing is just not there. So then again, if you fall into a hole and twist your ankle, there's a potentially legitimate swearing opportunity. But in short, context is everything. So yesterday, we hosted the Vermont State Board of Education for their November meeting. They're a board appointed by the governor of Vermont, responsible for making regulations about attendance and records of attendance for all students, standards for student performance, adult education programs, approval of independent schools, disbursement of funds, and equal access for all Vermont students to a quality education. These are all important things, but that last one is really quite profound, that access for all Vermont students to a quality education. When you think about what that means, what kind of obligation that is, what does it really mean? What is a quality education? Here at St. Johnsbury Academy, we've decided on a number of things, like paying attention to developing good character and critical inquiry and strong community. Those are at the top. But also including fairness and kindness and respect for difference and a wide range of perspectives, cultures, and approaches. But you can imagine that there are a lot of different ways that different people with different ideas answer the question of what constitutes a quality education. And that's where you have a board of 10 people who have to meet very regularly to try to figure it out and then to make sure that kids get it. So the state board held the meeting here because it was the final meeting for one of the board members, Jenna O'Farrell, who happens to be the mom of Brennan O'Farrell. She is also the director of Northeast Kingdom Community Action, NECA. So she was feeling very positively disposed toward St. Johnsbury Academy. They all set up in the black box. The first thing they did was to go on a tour with Brennan, who gives a wonderfully in-depth and thoughtful tour of campus that I was impressed with. You may have seen us walking around during C Block, walking very slowly during C Block, and I was very proud to see many of you being just great. The board was really quite bowled over by all of you. Holding doors open, saying thank you, in one case, thank you, sir, being warm and welcoming. The most notable moment for one of the board members who is a former CTE director was when we came to the electricity program classroom. It was full of students who were there on their own without their guru, Mr. Roberts, but who were not on phones or goofing off, but instead talking to one another quietly and respectfully and obviously enjoying one another's company. The board member mentioned it repeatedly throughout the day as one of those moments when a school's culture is on display, and he found it wonderful. So thank you all for being great versions of yourselves yesterday. There are actually 2 students on the board, one of whom was here in person and wore his hat throughout the day, which we just didn't even tell him to take it off. The students had a chance during the board meeting and to report on their schools, and one of them, who was from Vergennes, reported that his school had held a fundraising walk. Apparently, they walked for 18 miles and raised $6,000. So when Ms. Hansen shared that our Walk for a Healthy Community raised over 1,000 pounds of food and around $5,000, and we walked somewhat less than 18 miles, I thought, ha! We are not just a generous community, we are a smart community. The community at Virgins raised, by my calculation, around $300 a mile. And if we say we walked about a mile and a half, we raised $3,300 per mile, and that's not even counting the food, which amounts to around 660 pounds per mile. I'm not saying we're better. Walking 18 miles is an admirable thing in itself, and I'm just saying we're using our time wisely. So my big takeaway, as they say, from the day was, as with every day I get to talk about the virtues of St. Johnsbury Academy, was that I am grateful, almost beyond measure, for this school, for all of you and your inquiring minds, and for your caring hearts, and for all of your teachers with their caring hearts and their senses of humor, for the staff who keeps us all on the right tracks and shipshape, and for this beautiful place that we get to abide in while we pursue a quality education. I'm grateful for all of it. So our sign says practice gratitude, and I think we've been practicing a lot, and I think we're getting pretty good. Have a great day, everybody. Faculty.